Something that we have all tried to do before, but almost always fail, is to change someone else's mind to our way of thinking. And this is a problem because a lot of relationships actually get ruined when we try to convince someone to our way of thinking. So I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to change someone's mind. The first one is never turn the conversation into an argument. It should be a conversation where you show your opinions, the facts that you have, and the data that you've collected in a way that doesn't hinder or hurt the other person's opinions. We think that if we just prove our point logically, then common sense will tell the other person that we are right. But the problem is that emotions play a much larger impact on our decisions than what our brain logically decides as facts. And this is where most people get confused. Just because you may be right, technically correct, and have more supporting data, doesn't mean that the other person is going to think that. Or they might not have their ego built in a way that they will accept that. So when you're trying to change someone's mind, try to keep it as a conversation and not an argument. The second tip is to never say that you are wrong. If you're going to tell someone that you are wrong, you're going to give them a strong reason to come back at your argument and just topple all of your other arguments and supporting details. Even if you show them a whole bunch of logical reasons and acceptable data after that, you have already said that you are wrong at some point. If you really want to change someone's mind, you have to completely avoid looking like you're trying to change their mind, because this could invoke, as we mentioned earlier, strong emotions. If you're going to prove anything, don't let them know that you're going to prove it. If someone makes a statement that you think is wrong, even if you know that it is wrong, it's better to point it out by saying, "I thought otherwise, but I might be wrong. Let's look at the facts." The key is to say that you might be wrong, not that you are wrong. This opens up the other person to look at the data again and shows them that you're not bullheaded and that you're not going to change your opinion. Because nobody will ever object to you saying, "I might be wrong, let's look at the facts." You're not saying that you are wrong, you're just saying that you're open to new ideas. And this is super important in convincing someone else to your way of thinking. Tip number 3 is to get the other person saying yes as fast as possible. So this is like the foot in the door technique. Begin by emphasizing and keep on emphasizing stuff that you agree on when you're starting the conversation. Maybe hobbies that you guys have, something that they're passionate about, something that gets them saying yes. Because the more that you get them to say yes, the more likely they are to say yes in the future. It's a little psychological trick that a lot of salesmen use to sell something. Also, starting a conversation on something that they're passionate about or something that you both have in common will get them to start to like you and maybe even more open up to ideas that you have. It establishes trust. Tip number 4 is to let the other person do a great amount of talking. Now, this is where most people go wrong. What they do is they try to talk more and more and more to try to convince the other person of their way of thinking. First of all, if you let them talk more, you're going to show that you actually care about their opinions and ideas, which will eventually earn their respect. People love it when you give them your full attention, because people love to express their own opinions to you. So by listening to them, you're going to create a friendly relationship and build trust. And in doing so, when you express your opinions and your facts and your data, they will have a higher likelihood of paying more attention. Also, if you disagree with something that they're saying, never make the mistake of interrupting them. And this is super dangerous because it's basically like you're attacking them, and they might take it to their ego. This can change the whole argument from who is right into I am right and you are wrong, no matter what the data says. Also, they probably still have a lot more stuff in their head to keep on talking. So just listen patiently with an open mind. Encourage them to talk even more and more so that when it's your turn to talk, they'll be out of stuff to talk about. The last tip is to let the other person feel like the idea was theirs. So, don't you have a lot more faith in an idea that you come up with than someone else that gave that idea to you? You can put that idea into practice with someone else. It's wiser to make suggestions and let someone else come to the conclusion than to give them the conclusion, because then they have a sense of pride that it's their idea. And you can do this a lot in business. You can do this a lot in a workplace. Giving someone the data and letting them come to the conclusion lets them feel like it is their idea and they take pride in it. So, these are 5 simple tips to help you win someone to your way of thinking. And of course, if you do not have enough facts, if you do not have enough data to convince them, then you can do one of 2 things. You can either get more data to help convince them, or maybe it's you who is the one who needs to change their thinking. This content was actually created with the help of my friend Ismanov and animated by him also. So go check out his channel if you want more information like this. Thanks for watching, guys.